Hello everyone, it's great to see you again. Today I want to share my tips for freezing the garden produce. Specifically, we are going to blanch and freeze carrots, celery, and green beans. We already harvested our carrots last week, and if you missed that video, I can put a card up here so you can watch it. Meantime, let's head out to the garden to fetch the celery and the green beans. These green beans are the French filet type. They are slender, tender, and, in my garden anyway, proliferous. To avoid damaging the beans during harvest, I use scissors to detach the beans from their stems. And here is the celery that I grew from seedlings. Unlike supermarket celery, the homegrown version has a remarkably fresh taste and an extra crispy texture. I just love it. I use a small knife to harvest the large outer ribs. This way, the inner ribs can continue to grow. All right, my veggies are harvested, and I wanted to mention it is hideously hot outside. Also, Avery gave me a nice scratch this morning. I need to have her nails trimmed. Avery is my dog. So here are my French filet beans. I have tipped and tailed them. And now the National Center for Home Food Preservation says that before we freeze the beans, we must blanch them. Blanching means you submerge the beans in boiling water for a certain length of time, and then you plunge them into an ice bath for a certain length of time. So that's what we are going to do today. And for beans, they say 3 minutes. So I have a huge pot of boiling water behind me. I'm going to use a blanching basket, but you don't have to. Blanching basket just makes it easy to retrieve the beans or carrots or whatever you're blanching out of the boiling water. A slotted spoon would work as well. And here's the ice bath. Ice cubes and water. I'm going to do the beans in 2 batches. So my water is at a full boil. Add the beans. Now, when the water returns to a boil, I will start counting 3 minutes. Blanching is a must for almost all vegetables to be frozen. It stops enzyme actions, which can cause loss of flavor, color, and texture. Also, blanching brightens the color and helps slow the loss of vitamins. After the beans have boiled for 3 minutes, I plunge them into their ice water bath. And after the ice bath, I put the veggies on a clean bath towel to dry briefly. Now look at the color on these. Definitely a deeper green than before I blanched them. And I'm just blotting them dry in this big bath towel. Big clean bath towel. I'm going to flash freeze these beans on the baking sheet and then I will transfer them to a Ziploc bag. And here are the carrots that we harvested last week. I did not wash them. I just popped them into Ziploc bags and put them in the refrigerator. And then this morning I hosed them off and peeled them. And these peels are going to make mighty fine compost. After I tip and tail the carrots, I cut them into thin rounds on a mandolin. Per the National Center for Home Food Preservation, sliced or diced carrots require just 2 minutes of blanching. I'm going to cut all of the nubs that I could not safely cut on the mandolin into little coins using my knife. Now, I should mention that you do not have to change out the boiling water from vegetable to vegetable as long as those vegetables are not overly aromatic. So green beans, carrots, celery have a mild aroma, so you can use the same blanching water for all of these veggies. But if you're doing something like cauliflower or broccoli, then you would want to change out the water. Or you could just do the cauliflower or broccoli last, because they have a really strong aroma, and you don't want your carrots and your celery and your beans to taste like broccoli. I like to first freeze my vegetables in a single layer on a baking sheet. This way, the veggies won't form a clump after they are transferred to freezer containers. These are ready for the freezer. Now look at all of this celery. This is only maybe a third of what I grew, so I have a lot more celery out in the garden. I'm going to cut this celery into a 1/2-inch dice. Now, you do not have to blanch celery before you freeze it, but if you do blanch it, it will last a lot longer in the freezer. I really like this blanching basket. I bought it on Amazon. I can link it in the description if you are interested. Blanching time for celery is 3 minutes. Here's the first tray of blanched celery. I just want to try one of these. Did you hear the crunch? And believe it or not, my carrots and green beans are already solidly frozen. So I'll show you how I bag them. So here are the frozen French filet beans. Look at this. See, they're all loose. They're not stuck together. That's why I like to, what I call, flash freeze them on a baking tray before I bag them. For long-term freezer storage, I am packing the veggies in reusable Ziploc bags and other freezer containers. Frozen at 0 degrees Fahrenheit, the vegetables will stay fresh and wonderful for up to 1 full year. The next time I want to make glazed carrots, my work will be easy indeed, because my carrots are already cleaned, peeled, sliced, and frozen. And here comes the celery, 2 trays of it. I do use celery in a lot of things, including soups and chili. I think freezing food this way is very useful, even if you don't have a garden. You can freeze your supermarket produce, you can freeze produce from the farm stand. You can freeze things when you find them on sale, and you actually save a lot of money that way. So let's look at what we accomplished today. We have several containers of carrots. We have several containers of celery. And we have 1 big container of French filet beans. And I will label these with the date before I put them back into the freezer. Well, after all of that work, I've built up quite an appetite. For lunch today, I'm going to make a fabulous French radish sandwich. I know it sounds weird, but trust me on this one. I already have the radish in the garden, so all I need is a really good baguette and some really good butter. So let's head off to the farm store.
Look ahead, the sea is calm, and I know we've been through a lot, but just wait. Wait for better days to come and carry us like wind in our sails. Hold on tight, I can smell the shore, it's right in front of us if we just hold on tight. This vision that I saw is getting closer every dawn. We are dreamers of the shore.
Home again, I am harvesting a big radish. The variety is aptly named Royal Purple. I was introduced to the radish sandwich during one of my visits to France. The sandwich is definitely easy to make. Cut a baguette lengthwise in half, spread each half thickly with good butter, add thinly sliced radish and coarse salt, and you're done. Radish sandwiches that I enjoyed in France did not include any lettuce greens. I will enjoy this sandwich with iced Darjeeling tea left over from this morning's brew. A taste. You would not think that a simple sandwich made from radish, butter, salt, and a baguette would be anything to brag about. But believe me, it is. And Lizette just asked what I think about adding basil leaves to the radish. I have no idea, but I'm willing to find out. Hold on. I love having a living supermarket right outside my door. Just a few basil leaves. If this sandwich was delicious before, it's beyond delicious with the added basil leaves. Holy cow. Don't make me beg you to try this sandwich. Well, we had a very productive day. I hope this video inspires you to blanch and freeze some vegetables, whether they come from your own garden or the farmer's market or the local supermarket. When you need to put dinner together in a hurry, it's a comfort to know that you have already washed, peeled, and chopped veggies right in your freezer. Thank you so much for watching. I'm going to finish my sandwich and my tea in some cool corner of this house. Bye for now.